Hi there, it's Karen here. Welcome back to Moroccan Journal Monday. And I think we're just beginning to get to the end of this really chunky journal. There's a few more pockets to fill and a few finishing touches. I'm hoping maybe 2 more videos and we'll be done and we'll move on to the next one. So this is Moroccan Journal number 1 of 3. So let's just dive in and get to where we were. This is something I might work on off camera. I've decided I'm not so keen on this poking in here. It just doesn't do it for me. And I had stamped this piece. It's got to be backed and it's got to be finished off. But I think it would look a lot nicer in there once I've got a little bit more decoration on it. But I think that looks nicer. So I'm going to do something with that, but probably not today, depending on what time I have, because I have many more journal cards to make. But I have done some preparation just to speed things along a bit. So I think I've got them all kind of planned, but just not finished. Well, there's one I have finished, which I'll show you, but it didn't really need much anyway. So let's just move through. We are now in the second part of the signature, which is good, but not very far. So what we needed was a journal card for this pocket here, as you can see. I could put something in here. I haven't decided yet. It's getting so fat, I'm not sure I've got room, but things could be moved around. So I did show you that piece of masterboard that I had, which I'd made as part of Roxy's Weekly Challenge, and it had this lovely piece, which I have now cut off and made into the journal card. Just put a little tiny bit of trim. This was just a bit that had been cut off, cut off a bigger piece of trim, and I just used it up. Just to finish that edge off, really, because it's going to be poking out the top of here. So I thought it needed a little something, and that just pops in there perfectly. So, and this colour really goes well with this, so I'm really happy with that. That was an easy win. So that one's finished. And I really love this pocket. I love this bit of fabric that has gone on here and this little dangly bit. It's really pretty. Right, so this one, another very simple one. It was the one I made from this pocket I made with the fold-out paper, but I didn't glue it very, very well, so I left myself a very narrow space to put something in. I should have glued it a bit more cleverly so that it could have gone behind a bit more and made it a bit wider, but I've cut it to size. It's just from the scrapbook paper, and I have backed it with some lovely vintage paper from a nature book that I've got. So it's quite sturdy. And I've added extra gold around the edges with my glue stick, paint stick, because it already had that gold look around the edges anyway. So I've kind of gone all the way round, so it looks all the same all the way round. And I really like that look, and it's a nice simple one. And I've had this piece floating around in my box for a while that I really wanted to use, and I thought this was the perfect spot. Look at that. That's just lovely there. So that's where I'm going to start. Excuse me. I do have a bit of a tickle this morning. Okay, so I'm going to use the art glitter glue and just glue this lovely piece on. I think it was cut off a bigger piece, and it's just sitting there waiting for the perfect spot to put it. And this is it. Right, so hopefully that'll be enough to hold it. I won't try and put it back in the pocket until I'm sure this is glued down nicely, because I don't want it to catch. Maybe just bring it up a little. Okay. Right, so I'm going to leave that to dry, but I think that's lovely. Really like that. Okay, so that is going to go in there. I might just pop it behind there for the moment. And we'll move on. So now we have this side pocket and we have this big pocket here. So I have found, this is from the same paper as I used for the other, to back the piece we've just done. This is from that lovely nature book. You can see there's bits there. I have backed it. Oh no, actually I haven't backed it. This is the paper itself, but it had some writing here, so I've just covered that, and it just looks finished somewhere writable on the back. So I just need to cover this side, and that will pop in here nicely. So let's do that bit. Keep on to get my journal out the way. It's getting so weighty now, moving around. So I just had this piece of paper that was just in my scraps, and I think that will just go on there nicely. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep most of these fairly simple, with hopefully not a lot of decoration, just because everything is getting so bulky. No, I don't want to use that. So I hope you're all well and enjoying some fine weather. We're not really. I mean, we get a bit of sunshine, but the weather has been pegged at well under 20 degrees for it feels like weeks. We just don't feel like summer has arrived at all. And yeah, it's getting a bit depressing really. Middle of June and I'm still wearing winter clothes. I mean, I am particularly sensitive to the cold. And everybody else is in short sleeves. I'm usually in long. So I'm still getting I packed away all my winter clothes and I just keep bringing them out again. It's really rather sad. They're starting to get so scruffy as well. You just feel so scruffy all the time because you just keep wearing the same old things. Same old jumpers and scruffy jeans. Because everything gets worn to death when you can't put them away for a while for a rest. Okay, just trim these bits off. So, I love this piece of paper. And I am just going, I don't know whether to do it that way round. Or is it better that way round? I think I want it that way round. And I am going to just punch the corners. Just a little punch this time. That's not worked. All I've got is like a snip. If it won't do it, I'll snip the corners for a change. No, it's not going to do it. Don't know why. It gets like that sometimes. Punches it out the wrong way somehow. So I'm just going to snip the corners. And ink. From this box. If I've got anything that would work for me in there. Still got some of these pieces. I think it's a bit big. Move this out the way a little bit. Would that work? Oh, what else have we got here? I'm running out of these little pieces now. Used quite a lot of them. Yeah, it's not doing it for me. Well, that's too similar, isn't it? wonder if I could somehow I'm going to be daring and tear this in half. Does that work? Probably not. Just feel I want something else. I like the lantern, as I've mentioned many times, but not such a fan of the flower. And I don't know why. I know they're very pretty. They're just not saying Morocco to me. Had another thought. I wonder if I can just... I think I've said many times, it's these last bits of finishing off that seem to take all the time. Now, I really would like the fabric, I think. If I can find something not too thick. Let me see this go. There we are. Just cut that there for a moment. I'm sure this is too big. I've got anything. I think that is a little thick. Got this piece of organza. Needs to be bigger. Where can I find some more? I have just found this piece of gorgeous trim that I forgot I had. And I wonder if that would look rather good on there. I don't know about the lantern. That's going to be a bit lost now, isn't it? Or I have this piece as well that I've also found, which I think is going to fade into the background too much. I really rather like this, because it'll poke out the side of the pocket. Let's just tidy this up a little. Don't want it right on the edge, I don't think, but I'll just see. I've just realised that this paper doesn't quite reach to the bottom, so I'm just going to trim off the excess background. Right, let's see. Probably cut this a little bit long now. Okay. Yep, I'll just trim that off. I rather like that. And it's going to need something possibly a little stronger. So we'll try this. Okay, so that's that one finished. I'll just leave it at that. Let's put these bits back in the box. And where's it going to go? It's going to go in here. That lovely bit of trim on display. I love that. Okay, so now we need to make the one to go in here. And I've got, this is the piece of the neutral master boards that we made. Well, I think I made a few off camera a few weeks ago to have them on standby for exactly this purpose. Let's just clear myself some space. And that goes over there. And I have prepared some papers just to cover this, but I don't know yet how I'm going to decorate it. So I've got this piece, which I'm going to wrap around at the top there. So that goes there. I think then I've got a piece of Florentine paper I'm going to pop there. And this piece is going to go on there. And that's how it's going to look. And then I've got to find something to pop in the middle, which could be challenging, but I might find something. So I'm just going to glue these on, ink around the edges, and punch my corners. Right, so my base is all prepared. Now we just need to put a little something on there just to give it a bit of a focal point. So I pulled out one of the journal cards because I thought it would make rather a nice, just a bit of a focal point. I love the arch, and I think the colour works really well. So I think I'm going to put that on there. But I also want just a little bit of something behind it, just to give it a little bit of background, a bit of focus. So I've got this piece of it's Italian newspaper, I think. It's in it's a pack from Rachel, and I don't think I want it to go behind the whole thing. I think I just want a strip. That's what I think I need. So I'm just going to tear that down and put it somewhere out the way. Might be too long. I just want to put that there. There. Actually, I rather like that just as it is. So I think just a little inking, and then we'll glue those down. Oops. Let's do that. That's our journal card, ready to go in the big pocket. But it will need a tab. So, where are we? I had a piece of paper. Here we go. So I managed to get hold of it. It's not a traditional whale tail tab, but this is one that they seem to be making now. It's this company called Vesson Creative. That let's just make sure I've got that. I think I've got it big enough, and I've got a piece of fairly thick paper. I think this one I printed on some thicker paper, so that's straight. That must be the straighter edge. So then we just pop it in. So it works slightly differently, but the final effect is the same. Hope I've made this big enough. Where is it? Because it goes in here. That's it. You just go push it in as far as, fold it over, push it in as far as this little bar, so it doesn't get cut into 2 pieces, and it cuts out your whale tail, or punches your whale tail. So that's quite good. I like that, and I've got a choice of size, which I think that side might be the best, but I want to make sure it's in the right position, because the number of times I put a tab on and it's in the wrong position for the opening of the pocket. So this time I'm going to try and be a bit more mindful of where I'm putting it. So that's going in there, like that. So I quite like the red here, picking up the red here. I'm just wondering if I actually need a whale tail or a tab. Just I feel like I just want to have something to get hold of to pull it out. Let's just see how that would look. Well, yeah, that would still look okay. What about the other side? No, I don't like that side so much. So I think I will put it there. And we'll just, I think I'll use the old glue stick for this, because I might be able to slide it about if it's not quite in the right position. Let's get it lined up where I want it. Is it going? No, it's not going inside, is it? It's catching. Okay, I think. Oh, have I still put it on the wrong side? No, it is the side I was going to put it on. That's fine. We just need something there, don't we? To pull it out. Yep, okay, that's fine. Right, so progress is being made. Okay, I have just popped this extra tag that I had. It was sitting in my box, and I thought, well, this looked a bit bare here, so I've just popped this in behind. I know it adds bulk, but it's got to go somewhere. And, oh, I forgot this one. I missed a pocket in my preparations. So I've got one prepared for this. So this is one I'll probably have to do this one off camera, because I haven't made any plans for that one. And I haven't got time really to do that today, I don't think. So let's just crack on. Get the ones that I have prepared done. And so I've got this piece, it's backed of course, and it just pops in there. And because these colours are kind of quite clashy, I decided I wanted something and not quite as... I tried lots of different papers to see what would work, and everything just was a bit too much. So I've ended up with this piece, because once it's tucked in, this is a slightly calmer piece. But then of course it looked a bit too bare, so I've got a little piece to put down the edge, but I think that will work. So I'm just going to glue these pieces on, and I'm not going to add any more decoration to it, I don't think. I've just got this bit to go down the side. So let's do that. So I know we Brits do talk about the weather an awful lot. I think that's just because it's always so disappointing. But we actually had a hailstorm the other day. You know, we're in the middle of June, and these lumps of ice are falling out of the sky. And the patio went white. I mean, it was like, what is going on? thought it was meant to be global warming. It doesn't feel like it's warming over here. Certainly not on our part of the world, or our part of the country, really. I think other parts are getting nicer weather. We just seem to be in this pocket where the weather just never gets any better. We just have a wind. We have a brief glimpse of sunshine either first thing in the morning or last thing at night. You know, just before the sun goes down, the sun comes out. But in between, it's just grey and grim and depressing. But that's it. I'm not going to talk about it anymore because yesterday we had a lovely time yesterday afternoon. Hannah came over with Arlo. It was an unscheduled visit because they're coming over Friday afternoon anyway. Today is Thursday, so they weren't planning to come over yesterday. But she was at a loose end, and we said, well, we weren't around all afternoon because I had a hospital appointment. But they were welcome to come, and you know we'd be with them. Kind of before and after our little outing. So they came over, and the sun actually did come out for a while. It was quite pleasant in the garden. And so Richard took the little one out while we were getting his lunch ready. Oh, got that bit as well. I didn't realise it was double-sided, but I think I just fancy that little bit of red along there. Yeah, so he took him out. He got a couple of our old IKEA rugs that had been just packed away. Got them out and put them out on the patio because they're quite reasonably thick, so they're quite nice for the little one to sit on. So sat him out in the garden, and we went out and joined them for a bit. And it was just so lovely. He's nearly 9 months next week, can you believe? So he's becoming less and less of a baby. And you can see the little boy really emerging now. He's really finding his legs, wanting to be on his legs all the time. And he's not walking or anything, or even nearly walking. He's not quite crawling yet, but he likes to be stood up on his legs, and he bounces and he laughs, and he's so gorgeous. And he just sat there, and we often have a lot of birds flying over. We get a lot of crows and jackdaws in this area. In fact, we used to get them a lot in our old house as well. And so they made quite a loud noise. And his little face, as he was watching these things go overhead, you know, he was just so full of wonder at the sounds that he was seeing, you know, and the sights he was seeing. He was sitting in the garden, he was seeing bees in the lavender. And he was fascinated. He was just sitting there looking all around, and we were saying afterwards what a privilege it is to be there, to see him experiencing these things for the first time, really. And the wonder on his little face, it was just, he's so gorgeous. He is an absolute joy. I mean, grandchildren aren't they? And I think at this age, every moment there's something happening, something changing. And we're so lucky that we're getting to see that. You know, we're seeing them every week while she's on maternity leave, but then we will be having him ourselves for a day every week. So that relationship will continue, which is going to be rather exciting, a bit scary. But he's so rewarding because he just enjoys everything. You know, you just have to talk to him or make a noise at him, and he just smiles. He's just a proper little happy boy. Such a pleasure to spend time with. Lissy was as well. I mean, she was always such a happy little soul as well, and she mostly is. But of course now she's developed quite a strong mind of her own. She has her ups and downs, as all children do. We still have a lovely time with her as well. So I think that's all I need to do on this one. I want to keep it simple. And where are we? Okay. And that will pop in here. I think it's just a little bit calmer because it's all quite very, very busy on this page. And as I say, I will do something for this pocket here off camera because I missed it. Now we have this one. So I need to decorate the pocket, and I need to make a journal card to go in it. So we can do that. Let's just move my big punch out of the way. So I've got piece to go in here. Oh, it's quite tall, isn't it? I wonder if it's a bit too tall. It was the piece for in here, wasn't it? Yes, I think it was. Yes. Yes, it was. Right, let's decorate the pocket first. I'm going to have to use my book weight just to keep the page open. Yeah, so I want to pop that along there. No, the other way. I'll put that there. And I'm wondering whether to do one of these extended tabs that I've seen Rachel doing on these sort of things. So maybe if I bend it over a bit. Does that work? No, it needs to be a bit more. And she has it going to that end. And then this makes a tab and it just wraps over. So yeah, I think I'll do that. Oop. I want it right on the edge, and then I'm going to do a thumb notch. Right, can you see that? I've just folded it over, attached it the other side, and then we've got a little tab. I might add a few more tabs. We will do our finishing touches video, hopefully, in the next one. And I just wanted something extra along the bottom here, so I have pulled out this lovely bit of trim that I love, that I bought in Marrakesh. And I'm going to pop it along the bottom there, just poking, hanging down the bottom, hanging down below, like that. And I'll use the fabric glue, which is working much better now I've started using this bigger nozzle. Thank you, Rachel, for the idea. Just slide it down a little. I think I just want to make sure these little bits are hanging off the edge, hanging off the bottom. Yeah. Yep, that's good. Like that. And I will try and remember to, I need to do a thumb notch when this is dried a bit. And then for the journal card, now it did look as though it was a little bit tall, didn't it? So this is another piece of masterboard, once again. So I might just chop a bit off. A little bit off the top. I mean, I could make this a big tag actually. Maybe I will, because I've not really done any tag shapes. Maybe it'd be quite nice to have it as a big tag. I'm going to use my tag card. I'll just chop this myself. I'm going to use one of the bigger corners because it's a big tag. Right. Does that look better? Yes, it does. Okay. And for this one, I feel I want to use this piece. A bit of William Morris, one of my faves, and the colours work rather well in that spot, so I shall cover this with glue and then cut round it, I think. Right, gorgeous. And I think what I would like to do is do that big punch. Don't use this very often, I forget about it, but sometimes these big tags just lend themselves, don't they? That's good. Okay, now let's see how it looks, see if it needs anything else. So that can go in there like that. I'm not sure it really needs anything, although perhaps it needs a bit of a Moroccan flavour added to it. Let's have a look at some of these cards, see if any of them would work on here. Trouble is, I don't want to cover this lovely flower up because I love that. I love the colour of it, so I may just leave it. I'm going to ink around it, and we'll see if it needs something, maybe a little bit of textile somewhere. Maybe that's the thing to do. Right, so I think for the moment I rather like that. Let's try and do our thumb notch now. In the pocket, very shallow one. If it'll let me. I have to do it this way and take a chance that I've put it in far enough without going in too far. No, I don't trust it. Can I do it this way? Okay, and just pop it in. Okay, yep. Just try and get rid of the white on the edge, or the edge of the paper. It blends in nicely. There we go. Okay, so that one's done. That's gone in there like that. I may put a little bit of something on there just to bring in the Moroccan feel, but I haven't quite decided what yet. And then we've got this little side pocket. So let's put some of these bits out of the way that I keep pulling out. And so I've got a piece of this masterboard that I made, the mixed media masterboard, and I think that just fits nicely, but I think it's possibly a little bit big. I might just trim a touch off, in that it's coming out a little bit far. I think that will need a tab as well. Just going to trim off a touch, not too much. And it's on watercolour paper, so it's really thick, like cardstock really. I think that will work fine in there, just needs decorating. Okay, so, right. Okay, so do I decorate it vertically or that way? So it's going in that way, isn't it? I'm not sure it matters too much. I have got this piece, which I wanted to, that's the bit that'll stick out, so I like that. I love this paper. I think it's maybe a little big, a little wide, because I also want to put a bit of book page underneath. And I was going to add a little bit of this as well. Maybe that's too much. We'll see. Okay, I might just pop this on first. I'm going to use my, if I can find it, my straight ruler for the edge. So let's just tear it off here, and I can trim it after. And just a little piece of that. Pop that there, pop that there. And I might just do a little bit along the bottom. So there. It's a little bit bigger than I really need. Right, let's do that. Put this on first. Right. It occurs to me that some of these pieces would have fitted just as well on their own. But it wouldn't have been thick enough. So let's put a little something in the middle. Right, what we got? My other books, smaller pieces. I haven't got many left in the colour scheme though. Got that. That look alright. And these I got. I've got that one, or I've got this one. Maybe I'll use that instead. If I had two circles, and I have, but they're not the same size. Oh, hang on, here we go, another one. Is that the same size as that one? Oh, it's bigger again. I could make them the same size, couldn't I? And I could use them as a tab. Let's see if I've got any more. Probably not. Oh, I've got one more. I think there's somebody at the door. Would you excuse me? Well, I don't know if there was anybody at the door, but they weren't there when I got there, so it may have been my imagination, or they just didn't wait. Anyway, they didn't leave a parcel, so I don't know who it was. So I glued this on just because it was there, and I thought it was fine. I was happy with that. And I've got these 5 circles, none of which are the same size, to use as my tab. So I thought I'd just try it in the journal and see which size I need, and then we'll make one of the others fit to that size. That seems to be the simplest thing to do. So what have we got? We've got this. One of these two I think is going to be the one. I think that's the best size, because then it leaves you something to get hold of to pull it out. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll take, that was this one, wasn't it? Yep. And let's just put it in the middle of here. And I'll just draw around and cut that one out to fit. And I hope they kind of match up. Well, it's close enough, and I can ink the pieces that just poke out a little bit. So I'm going to glue this one, and now glue the other one onto the back. Oop. Not bad, not bad. Just do a little bit of inking just to make sure none of the white's showing. Of course, when it dries, it'll be a bit stiffer. Okay, so this one now goes in here. Yep, okay, yeah, happy with that. And I think we've only got one more pocket to fill, which is this one. Which is a good thing, because I think we're running out of time. So, yeah. I'm going to take my... I'm not going to... Yeah, okay, I'm going to do it to the size of the piece that I have. So I want to make a journal card with this piece that was stamped in the video the other week. And I'm just going to use the whole piece and one of my master boards. And I think I'm just going to cut it to the size of this piece with a few little bits sticking out the edge. So I will cut it about here, and where here, because it'll fit the pocket. Hope that's straightish. Okay, I'll just pop that over there, like that. So I think we'll do some, I'm not going to risk using this for that big piece of fabric. I'll use the art glitter glue, I think. That should do it. Oops, I think it's got a bit clogged. Right, let's put this piece on. These sort of backing master boards are so useful. Just saves the work if you've got the pieces ready to go. Cut them into any size, and you don't have to do all the backing. Very, very useful. Okay. Do we need to add a little something to it? Let's see how it looks in the pocket and see if it just needs a little bit of extra decoration. I don't know if it will. So it's going to go in this way. Just have to lift the pocket a little bit because of the edge. See, I'd quite like something down here, I think. Nothing too thick though. Let's have a look at the trims that we have. if there's anything that would just give it a little bit of something extra without adding loads and loads of bulk. I've got so many things still left that I'd like to use, but they're just so bulky. Where's it gone? Bit of gold ribbon. No, not this time, I don't think. What did I do with that other piece I found? This isn't overly bulky, but I'm not sure it really goes. Does it? Maybe a bit of it might. A little bit on the corner. Quite like that. Or this piece. Thinking that might look quite nice on there. Just checking there's nothing else. Oh, I've got a couple of other things I could try. So that at the moment is quite a nice option. Quite liking that. Or we could go down the golden flowers route. And we've got something going all the way down, which also looks quite nice. I think it's upside down. I'm quite liking those. Yeah, I think maybe I'll go that way. I'll go with, no, not, yeah, that one's, I don't know what's wrong with that one, but I'll have to start there. I think maybe that would look better. Just covers all that side. Yeah, I like that. I was going to look at the golden trim, but actually I think this is my favoured option, so that's what I'm going to use, I think. Just shows up a little bit more than the other piece without being too much gold. So I want that down to, I'll take it down to here and then see. What's that piece? Don't need that. Okay, so I'm just going to put the fabric glue on these. Okay, just keep pulling them off, fringing it up a bit more. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's put that in the journal, and we'll see how it looks in the pocket. Oop, not that one. So we can pop that in here. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Really love that. Right, so now the only one left is the belly band, and we've done that one. Yay! So there we are. I think we're pocketed up, apart from the one that I missed. I pulled these two bits out. I can't remember what I was going to do with them, but I think they was going to put them here somewhere. I think that was going to be it, actually. So I might just finish that off camera and make that side tuck, or not, because it's really a bit full. So I've been desperate to use this piece for a pocket, so that seemed to be a good place to put it. So that's something I'm going to be looking at off camera, and the other journal card or whatever in the other pocket, and then we'll come back in the next week and see if we can squeeze in any finishing touches. Not that it's going to need a lot, because it's already very, very full, and I'm going to have to decide what I'm going to use to hold it all closed, because it will still kind of go round. It's all still holding as I pull it round, so I need something nice and strong to put through my two holes to hold it closed. I don't know what I've got. I might have to order something if I haven't got anything suitable. We'll see, but I'll see you next week and we'll try and get this finished. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. I'm sorry if it's gone on a little bit long. I will try and edit out, anything, speed things up and stuff to try and edit it down, but there was a lot to do and I really wanted to get it finished, so if it's gone over, I apologise, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.